Welcome to Fenway Park as the fans make their way in for a three-game weekend series. It's game one between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Boston Red Sox. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, the Phillies are here, and tonight for the Red Sox on the mound, it's Joe Kelly. And Jerry, Joe Kelly has got quite a run going right now.
Yeah, he's turned his season around incredibly. I think over the last 6 starts, it's been remarkable what Kelly has done. And I think the big reason for that is the fact that he's mixing up pitches. I mean, his fastball's still very good. He gets a double play on this particular one right here. He's thrown a number of changeups, would have been excellent for him. As you can see right here, there's a changeup for a strikeout. And again, another changeup right here. He's also mixed in his curveball. He's done a very good job, I think, mixing pitches up. And you see the numbers over the last 6 starts. Perfect 6-0, 2.68 ERA, 11 walks, 28 strikeouts, and opponents are only hitting 252 against Kelly. And he tries to keep it going tonight against the Philadelphia Phillies. But it has been a remarkable turnaround for him, and you hope it continues the rest of the season.
Well, Joe Kelly on the hill tonight for the Red Sox. Gary Streisky will be along in a little bit. We'll delve into more of Joe Kelly's incredible run when we come back to Fenway Park right after this. A3 today. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Toyota's website for deals by Toyota.com. DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of your Boston Red Sox. Digital Federal Credit Union, see what DCU can save you. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at Southwest.com. We welcome you back to Fenway Park. It's game one of a 3-game series between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Boston Red Sox. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo. Well, back in spring training, Joe Kelly had high hopes this season. In fact, brazenly saying that he could be the Cy Young Award winner. Didn't start that way, but right now is in the midst of an incredible run. Gary Streisky, it's been epic.
Yeah, absolutely, Don. You know, sometimes men in their mid-20s tend to develop trust issues, and Joe Kelly actually developed a little bit of a trust issue with his secondary stuff until he didn't anymore, and he started relying on it more heavily over the course of this past month. And obviously, when you take a look at the numbers, that has been paying dividends.
It's a tribute to the hard work that he's put in that nobody notices or pays attention to. You know, he's in the weight room. He is talking shop with guys. He is working on his side days to get to this point. And every player looks for moments like these. And he deserves it. He really deserves it. He had great expectations early in the year. He finds himself in Pawtucket. He kept his head straight. He did what he was supposed to do, and he's on an incredible run. Now, the reasons why, I think, are pretty simple. He's throwing a well above average fastball anytime he wants to either side of the plate. He's throwing secondary pitches when he's even or behind in the count. He's thrown up to 4 consecutive secondary pitches in a row, and the Joe Kelly that we knew early in the year just would not have the confidence to do that. So I know he and Ryan Hannigan have worked hard at developing a game plan They both bought into what's working, and it's really taken off.
So you guys touched on it, the curveball, the changeup, the secondary stuff, that's been working. Torrey said it himself, but don't sleep on the effectiveness of that mustache Joe Kelly's been rocking. Don, we have plenty more on Mustache Gate during the game.
All right, Gary, we'll look forward to that. It's been an incredible run. They'll try to keep it going tonight. The first pitch from Fenway is next. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Welcome back to Boston and to Fenway Park for Game 1 of the 3-game series tonight between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Boston Red Sox. As the Red Sox continue this homestand, it is Team 2 of a 3-team homestand. And the Red Sox tonight have taken the field here from Fenway Park to get ready for Friday Night Baseball in their alternate red jerseys. Now let's check out the Philadelphia Phillies starting lineup as Joe Kelly gets ready to take the mound here for the Red Sox tonight. Phillies lineup is brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Leading it off is Odubel Herrera in center field with Cesar Hernandez at second base. Aaron Altair in right field with Ryan Howard, the DH. Darnell Sweeney is in left field with Darren Ruff at first base. Cody Ashe at third base bats seventh with Cameron Rupp doing the catching, batting eighth. And Freddie Galvis at shortstop bats ninth. Now the Red Sox starting pitcher presented by your local New England Audi dealers. For Joe Kelly, his 23rd appearance of the year. He is 8-6 coming in with a 4.94 earned run average, 96 strikeouts to 43 walks, and opponents hitting at 273 against Joe Kelly. Last time out, a win against the Mets. In fact, he's won 6 straight. But last time out against New York, going 7 1/3, giving up 1 run, walked 2, struck out 2 in that effort.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 10th in the American League with 82 errors on the season. Travis Shaw will be at third base. Xander Bogaerts the shortstop. Brock Holt at second. And Alan Craig gets the start at first. Left to right, Rusney Castillo, Mookie Betts, and Jackie Bradley Jr. And Ryan Hannigan doing the catching for Joe Kelly.
Well, the umpires tonight, Dale Scott has the plate calling the balls and strikes with C.B. Bucknor at first base, Lance Barrett at second base, and Dan Iasanya is the umpire at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Well, beautiful conditions here tonight at Fenway Park. 65 degrees. Breeze in from right at 9 miles per hour. And the forecast partly cloudy. Right now, blue skies above Fenway, and kind of the twilight part of the night as the lights are on at Fenway Park. And Red Sox welcome in the Philadelphia Phillies. A late change before the game, and they changed the Red Sox lineup as Travis Shaw, who has played so much at first base for the Red Sox tonight, will play at third base.
Yeah, certainly working out at third base before the game. And Sandoval was taking batting practice, and it looked like he may have tweaked something while he was taking BP. And all of a sudden, Travis Shaw gets the call in the lineup. So a little bit different lineup that was posted. Then was posted about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Craig was always in there at first base in the original lineup.
Alan Craig playing at first, where he did play a good chunk of time for the Pawtucket Red Sox and has in the past for the Boston Red Sox. And his only appearance so far since coming back from Pawtucket was in the outfield and in right field. So getting the start tonight at first base against the Philadelphia Phillies as Alan Craig back in the big leagues and back in Boston again. Now Joe Kelly ready to deal with Odubel Cabrera coming up here as Herrera hitting at .295 with 6 homers and 34 runs batted in. And Herrera, good leadoff hitter for the Philadelphia Phillies. And boy, there are some new names on this Phillies team, Jerry.
Yeah, certainly are. And even from spring training when we saw them down there, they've made many changes through the course of the season, and obviously having their struggles this year.
So Herrera checks in just under 300, ready to get it started, as is Joe Kelly. And Kelly with the first pitch of the ball game. And that'll miss outside, ball 1. The arsenal for Kelly, less fastballs recently, especially 67% overall this year. 23 breaking balls and 10% changeups for Joe Kelly.
That last outing he had against the New York Mets, he had a very good fastball and changeup in that game. Not too many curveballs for him. We'll have to see how that develops for him tonight.
Those secondary pitches have been huge for him, though, in the transition. And now he is back with Hannigan again. Last time, Swihart caught him, but it had been Hannigan catching him for the most part. Now they're back together again in a tandem tonight. It'll bounce in for ball 2.
That's the first changeup of the night from Joe Kelly, and overthrowing it a little bit, bouncing it into Hannigan.
Joe Kelly, look at that changeup right there.
Bouncing right in front of the plate.
He's the first Red Sox pitcher to win 6 games in a month since Pedro Martinez in May of 1999. There's a ground ball and through into left field, a base hit. Well, nicely split there in between Shaw and Bogarts on the left side of the infield. Leadoff hit for Herrera.
And Herrera's got some speed. 14 steals on the season. He's been caught 6 times. He gets the 2-seam fastball from Kelly right there. You see it running away from him, but good hitting. He finds that hole between third and short for the leadoff base hit.
So lead runner on here for the Phillies, and it brings up Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman. Now Hernandez playing at second base. Seems strange not to see Chase Utley here at the Philadelphia Phillies, but of course traded away to the LA Dodgers. Quick check on Herrera at first base.
You know, we mentioned many times when Kelly's pitching, he's got a pretty good move to first base because he has quick feet. And that's what right-handers really need to have a good pickoff move.
Hernandez at 268 with a home run, 31 runs batted in. Red Sox infield at double play depth with nobody out here in the first inning. Another check, and again relatively close.
Yeah, really what's saving Herrera right now is the fact that he's diving to the outfield side of the bag, keep making the throw a little bit longer.
Joe Kelly with 1 pickoff so far this season. Keeping a close eye on Herrera at first base. And at the lip of the grass at third is Shaw. And a pitch outside for ball 1. Patiently awaiting a first pitch was Cesar Hernandez. Finally got one. Swing and a miss, and it's a ball and a strike.
See that fastball at 92. It seems like the velocity on Kelly's fastball increases as the game goes on. He wanted that pitch outside. It stayed inside, but up and in, and became a very effective fastball for him.
Hernandez batting in the 2 spot. Leads the team in walks and in on-base percentage. He's walked 40 times on the year, 342 on base percentage. This marks his 85th start of the year. Inside out swing, fouling it back in. It's 1-2.
He's throwing him a couple of fastballs inside, and now he's got him set up for a changeup away if he wants to go in that direction. See what Hannigan puts down. Change up.
On the ground, back to Kelly. He'll go to second for 1, but first is going to be not in time. Took a little while for Xander Bogaerts to get over to the bag, and that was costly as it turned out.
Yeah, and there's not much Bogaerts could do because that ball was hit very hard back to Kelly. And, of course, Kelly's a very good athlete. And he got that ball, had to double clutch to wait for Xander to get there. And once he did, Hernandez is going to be safe at first base. Now, keep in mind that Hernandez also runs very well. But you saw Bogaerts, going back to his position and had to come back to the bag to make the play. And that just that split second cost him the double play.
So 1 out, 1 on, and it brings up Aaron Atter, who stands in on the right side. Throw over and relatively close again as Hernandez gets back to the bag. Altair hitting at .227 on the year coming in, the right fielder. Bounced over this time, and it's knocked down by Craig.
Now he's another guy, Hernandez, you got to worry about stealing bases. He's got 19 on the season. Phillies are 7th in the National League in stolen bases, and most of those come out of the top 2 guys in the lineup.
Altair called up by the Phillies from Lehigh Valley back on the 18th of August. So Michael Franco went on the DL. They brought him up. Check, and they got him. So that time Joe Kelly gets him. They had a few close tosses over to first, and they finally get Hernandez.
Yeah, Hernandez was leaning the other way. Watch the lean towards second. Here's the step, and you knew the throw was going to get him right there. So again, those good quick feet by Joe Kelly on the mound. This time it pays off as they got Hernandez taking a step towards second base.
Second pickoff of the year, 4th of his career. And a pitch running inside for ball 1. A 1-0 pitch. And that is going to be apparently a little bit high. He's for Dale Scott, home plate umpire, as Kelly falls behind 2-0. Also the crew chief, Dale Scott. There's a strike, and it's 2-1. Amazingly, this is the first time that Joe Kelly has faced the Phillies, one of 2 teams that he has not faced in his 4-year career. That includes the postseason. There's a ground ball foul, which is strange and odd because, of course, he spent his other time when not in Boston with the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League.
It's interesting. Tonight in our view from the booth in our open, we did 2 ex-Cardinals.
Joe
Alan
Kelly.
Craig and Joe Kelly.
Both part of the John Lackey deal, of course. Greg finally back up from Pawtucket, spending the first 24 games of the year with Boston and then going down with the Paw Sox the rest of the year. Check swing. He did not go. And it is a full count now. A different story for Altair, home and road so far in his young major league career. And there is strike three. Altair strikes out to end the first inning. First K for Kelly. Red Sox are coming up. The bottom of the first inning as the Phillies starting pitcher is presented by New England Nissan dealers. Adam Morgan on the mound. It is his 13th start. He is 5-4 with a 4.03 earned run average. 35 strikeouts. Opponents hitting at 262 against him as he grabs that outside corner for strike one. Last time out against the San Diego Padres. Saturday in a victory, 6 innings, 2 runs. They were unearned. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 3 along the way as part of that win. Trying to grab that outside corner again and cannot. Mookie Betts leading it off here for the Red Sox at 275 with 13 homers and 64 runs batted in. And Betts will line this towards left center field, up the alley, into the gap. Betts thinking too as he heads to second base, standing with a leadoff double here in the bottom of the first inning.
Mookie Betts extends his hitting streak now to 10 games as he gets a low fastball this time and really puts it hard in that gap between left center field. Runs it all the way out to the left field wall, and Betts on second base with the leadoff double here in the first inning. That fastball only about 88 miles an hour from Morgan.
Now extends the hitting streak to 10 games now for Mookie. Updated numbers at 333 in the streak. So Betts at second base. Nobody out here for Brock Holt. And he'll take strike one to the bottom of the zone. Okay, 276, 2 homers and 37 runs batted in. In interleague play right now, Brock Holt 6th in interleague play at 346, with players with at least 50 at bats in interleague play this year. Has struggled lately as part of the series against New York. Was 1 for 13 and now 1 for his last 17.
It's kind of a comeback year for Morgan. He missed all of last season with left shoulder surgery.
Looking for win number 6 of the year individually, coming in at 5-4 into tonight's contest. So Cameron Rupp catching him, and they've determined that he has had better success with Rupp catching him, so they do that again in tonight's game. 10 starts with Rupp catching him, a 3.22 earned run average. Two. And this is out towards left center field. Herrera's not going to get there. It falls in for a hit. Betts had to wait. He wasn't entirely sure, so he gets to third base on the single by Brock Holt. It's 1st and 3rd with nobody out. Let's check out the rest of the Red Sox starting lineup. It's brought to you by your Eastern Hyundai dealers. Mookie Betts in center field with Brock Holt at second base. Xander Bogaerts at shortstop bats third with David Ortiz, the DH. It is Travis Shaw at third base with Alan Craig at first base. Rusney Castillo in left field bats seventh with Ryan Hannigan doing the catching. And Jackie Bradley Jr. in right field bats ninth. So much needed base hit there for Brock Holt. And it's 1st and 3rd, nobody out for Xander Bogaerts. 319 with 5 homers and 63 runs batted in for Xander. Bogaerts in the finale against the Yankees on Wednesday was 3 for 5 with a home run in that game, and now is hit safely in 13 of his last 14 games. Among the hits leaders in the American League with 159, third in that category. Brian Butterfield reeling off the signs for Betts, Holt, and Bogaerts.
So here's a situation, Don, that I've been talking about. 2-0 count, men on base, where Xander should be looking for something middle in and try to take it out of the park.
And there for a strike at the bottom of the zone.
And that's something I think, I've talked about that I think he will learn, and I think that's really his next step in maturing as a hitter.
And adding to his power productivity. I mean, certainly the average has been there.
Exactly.
Looking at 5 home runs right now at this stage of the season. Throw over to first and Holt back to the bag. As disappointing a season as this has been for the Red Sox with 61 wins to begin tonight's action. More so for the Phillies, who've only won 53 games on the year as Bogaerts carves it foul back to the backstop.
I actually should take back what I said, because I said he should be looking middle in to try to hit a home run. You don't try to hit home run. You try to hit the ball hard on the ball middle in, but kind of narrow your zone down and look for something you can pull. If it goes out of the ballpark, that's great.
Well, the number is staggering at home for Xander Bogaerts at 351 for the 5 home runs that Xander has right here, the friendly confines of Fenway Park. Swings at the 2-2, and it's a base hit into left field. From third comes Betts, and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead here in the first inning.
Now Bogaerts gets a changeup with 2 strikes on him, a 2-2 changeup, and takes it right between that hole. That ball's also inside, pulls it, finds the hole between third and short, picks up his 64th RBI of the season. Red Sox take the 1-0 lead early.
Well, 5-gamer now for Bogaerts as he extends it with that RBI single. 9 for his last 17 during that stretch. So first and second, nobody out still, and the Red Sox already have a 1-0 advantage as David Ortiz stands in. 265 with 29 home runs, 81 runs batted in, 495 home runs on his resume. As he gets out of the way of strike one. Breaking ball there.
Yeah, so far we've seen the fastball, the slider, and the changeup from Morgan.
Ortiz fouls it back above us and out of play. Ortiz takes a look at strike three. Knew it. Takes with him the first strikeout for Morgan. One down.
That's the best pitch he's made so far. He picks up that outside corner with the fastball. Best location he has shown so far here in the first inning. Very good pitch. Fastball on the outside part of the plate to Ortiz.
Well, the arsenal for Adam Morgan, 59% of the time fastballs, 24 breaking balls, and 17% changeups for the left-hander. Got one out, runners at first and second, and here is Travis Shaw. Shaw takes it the other way, but foul. And moving across the diamond for tonight's game from first base to third base and toting that .288 average coming in. 7 homers, 17 runs batted in. In the air to right, Altair going back to make the catch. Tagging at second base and heading for third without a problem is Brock Holt. So now with 2 outs in the inning, the Red Sox have runners at first and third.
Now the Phillies defense is brought to you by DraftKings. They are last in the National League with 93 errors. Cody Ashley at third base, Freddie Galvis the shortstop, Cesar Hernandez at second, and Darren Ruff the first baseman. Left to right, Donnell Sweeney, Odubel Herrera, and Aaron Altier. Cameron Rupp doing the catching.
2 down. Bogarts at first, Holt at third, and it brings up Alan Craig getting the start at first base tonight. 135 average coming in with a home run, 2 runs batted in. Started the season on the major league roster. Came in the 6th inning of Wednesday's game, playing in right field. Had 2 plate appearances on Wednesday and walked both times. First pitch strikes to 5 out of 6 batters so far for Adam Morgan. Fly ball center field. Odubel Herrera waiting out there, and he'll put it away to end the inning. Red Sox grab the game's first run, take a 1-0 lead through 1.
Thanks to Mookie Betts starting things off with that leadoff double. Guys, we know players are super superstitious. Mookie Betts really no different. He has his pre-bat ritual, and every time before he goes to his first at-bat of the game, he always writes something in the dirt, whether it's the home batter's box or a visitor's batter's box. What he'll do with the butt of his bat is draw a cross in the dirt with the initials EC. That represents 2 instrumental people in his life. EC standing for Etta Collins, one of his grandmothers that he lost. Also Earl Carter, one of his childhood friends that also passed away. So Mookie Betts, pretty cool little tribute to them every time he steps into the box, guys.
Yeah, Gary, a lot of guys do a lot of different things. You see a lot of writing going on, whether it be on the mound for the pitchers, back at the mound before they start, and interesting insight into his thought process every time he goes to bat. What a great guy Mookie Betts really is. We've gotten to know him here in the early portion of his career, and very bright future for him on and off the field. And his last at bat still there. And he got it started for the Red Sox. Came around to score the first Boston run of the night, first run of the game. 1-2 pitch is fouled off to the left out of play. And Jerry, this is one of the names that we know. It's Ryan Howard of this new Phillies look.
Yeah, and 21 home runs on the season for Howard, 72 RBIs, and he's probably a guy also that the Phillies probably would have liked to have moved, but that didn't happen. Chase Utley, of course, leaving the Phillies.
So the shift on. Right side it is Shaw, the third baseman on the right side of the infield, who throws out Howard. Well, the Red Sox family 4-packs are back. In this special package, fans will get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas for $75. This great deal is even available for Red Sox Hat Night on Tuesday and Fred Lynn Bobblehead Night on September 22nd. Tickets are available at redsox.com/family 4-packs.
There's 4 people right there in the front row. I wonder if they're 6 together or they just made friends here at the ballpark. I mean, you make friends when you come to the ballpark a lot, you know.
Friendly Fenway. Pitch outside for ball 1. They may have the family 4-packs tonight. Might be right there.
Could possibly be one of the packs right there. Making friends.
Darnell Sweeney batting with 1 out here in the second inning. Sweeney, the left fielder for the Phillies. Trying to pick up the bottom of the zone again. Fly ball deep right field. Bradley Jr. headed back at the wall to make the catch right in front of it. Right in front of that short wall in front of the bullpen. Reels it in.
A change up that time, and it's not a bad one. It's got the outside part of the plate, but pretty good hitting by Sweeney. Bradley, look at him turn his head, go back to that wall. That's the proper way to do it. Go back as hard as you possibly can. Don't glide after it. And then just spin around and make the catch. And that's exactly what Jackie Bradley Jr. did there. Easy for me to say.
2 down here in the second inning for Darren Ruff.
Now we hope Kelly's okay, because on a pitch to Howard earlier this inning, and a ball that he grounded out to the right side of the infield after he made the pitch, it was a breaking ball. Kelly kind of stretching out his arm, it looked like, or his side, something. We'll see. Keep an eye on that. See if that bothers him throughout the course of the game.
Definitely looked like something grabbed him there.
Yeah, something on the right side.
No 2 pitch coming up here to Ruff. Tried to get him to chase. He does not. Breaking ball down and away to Darren Ruff, first baseman, at 244. 7 home runs and 26 runs batted in. Elevates that time for ball 2.
A little bit more velocity there. 95 with that last fastball from Kelly.
Darren Ruff making his 42nd start this year. 25 at first base, 17 in left. And a swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt and tagged out by Hannigan. Second strikeout for Joe Kelly. Inning and a half done. 1-0 Boston from the fans. Pitchers in this series are rookies. The last 5 rookie starters facing the Red Sox have allowed 26 earned runs in 22 2/3, a 10.32 ERA. Twisted Tea is the hard iced tea. Tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. 1-0. Red Sox have the lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. Coming to bat here in the bottom of the second inning. It is Rusney Castillo, Ryan Hannigan, and Jackie Bradley Jr. Bottom third of the Red Sox order. As Castillo on a grounder with some spin on it out to second base. Hernandez takes care of business for the first out of the second inning. Get immediate care without leaving the ballpark at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center First Aid Station behind Section 12 in the lower concourse. PIDMC is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. One out here in the second inning for Ryan Hannigan. 253, 2 homers, and 12 runs batted in for the Red Sox catcher. Hitting safely in 15 of his last 18 contests. And hitting at .303 during the last 18 games. Really picked it up at the plate for Boston. We're spending time in the DL with the fractured finger on his right hand. And again, thought about it, but it's just outside. Numbers at Fenway pretty good for Hannigan. And over Massachusetts native at .306, 2 homers. On the road, a 185 average away from Fenway. Takes strike 2. And again at home has reached base safely via hit or walk in 23 of his 25 home games this season. .306 at home. And a foul off to the right out of play. Jackie Bradley Jr. waiting on deck. Red Sox batting here in the home half of the second inning. And a swing and a miss. Got away from the catcher Rupp, so he's got to throw out Hannigan, and he does. Second strikeout for Adam Morgan. 2 down in the inning.
And it goes to the slider that time to pick up the strikeout down and off the plate, and a very difficult pitch for a right-hander to lay off from a left-handed pitcher.
So 2 down, 5 in a row. Now retired by Morgan. Is starting to settle into his outing. Here is Jackie Bradley Jr. He's been powering up lately at the plate. 16 of his last 22 hits have gone for extra bases. 11 doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs during that time. He's got 5 home runs in his last 21 games. Down here 0-2.
And you saw the defensive setup for Jackie Bradley Jr. pretty much straight up all the way around, infield and outfield.
Swing and a miss, and Morgan with back-to-back strikeouts has a 1-2-3 second, a 1-0 Boston lead. Back at Fenway Park with the Red Sox on top 1-0. We head to the third inning. It's Cody Ashe who leads it off here, third baseman for the Phils. There's Joe Kelly back on the hill. That was his 29th pitch. And the pitch picks up the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Joe Kelly had a 1-2-3 second inning. There's 2 strikeouts through the first 2 innings. Ashe, Rupp, and Galvis scheduled to bat here in the third inning for Philadelphia. There's Cameron Rupp, the Phillies catcher, waiting on deck. Bounce in for ball 3. '90th start of the year for Ashe tonight. His 29th at third base, 61 in left field. Started the year at third base for the Phillies before being converted to a left fielder, but now back recently at third base. He will take ball 4. There's the first walk given up by Joe Kelly, and it's a leadoff walk to begin things here in the third inning. Well, it's time now for the Geico Red Sox moment, honoring the 75 season. In their 134th game, the Red Sox lost to the Yankees 4-2. Jim Rice went 3 for 4 with an RBI for the Sox.
Jim Rice, you see him dressed up tonight in the pregame show?
Full vest, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
And how about the socks? You see the socks?
I did not see the socks.
Multicolored.
Really?
Yep.
He had stuff in his pocket, I'm sure, right?
He was dressed to the nines.
No, it's Friday Night Baseball from Fenway. As Rupp will take a pitch that is just high at 94 miles an hour. Jim is always dressed in the nines, though.
I'm telling you.
He can dress.
Oh.
Fouled off to the right, and it's 1-1 to Cameron Rupp.
You know what Jim does? He comes into the clubhouse, as a regular person.
Yep, I've seen him. Regular shirt.
It's like doing a late night show. I mean, he comes on and he makes his change in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
and then he comes out with these unbelievable suits.
And he does
socks.
it close to game time so that he is fresh.
Exactly,
it is freshly on. Because I never see it. When we're in the clubhouse, as you said, it is normally a golf shirt.
Right.
To right field, and Bradley Jr. makes the catch on the liner for the first out. Kind of announces his presence with authority when he comes out, too. And he is.
Well, we saw him make his entrance today.
Yeah.
Right behind home plate and right out to where they were doing the pregame show. Tom Caron and Steve Lyons are out there, and Jim was running a little bit late, but man, when he got there, everybody took notice.
When Jim comes in.
Yeah. I know when he comes in because I used to be his roommate. Not his roommate, but I had rooms next to him all the time on the road because, Remy Rice, it was close together.
Oh,
so I knew every time that he came in. He was always in by curfew. Always.
Throw to first and back is Ashe. So it was done alphabetically then by room, huh?
Pretty much so. Still a little bit that way.
Let me ask you this, because every guy on this team, or most guys on this team, have an alias. Did you have an alias on the road?
No.
So you just went straight up Jerry Remy? That's who I am?
No, in those days it was just your name. That was it. And then you'd have Yahoos calling you in your room. Kenny Stabler called me one time in Oakland.
Really? To right field, down towards the pole, but it's going to hook foul.
I was talking. The phone rings. I picked the phone up, and it goes, "Hey, Jerry." I said, "Yeah." He says, "This is the Snake." I said, "Who?" Kenny Stabler. I said, "Kenny Stabler." He says, "Yeah." He says, "Man, you got 4 tickets to the game tonight?" I said, "No, I don't think so. I don't think Kenny Stabler's calling me."
You don't think it was the Snake?
No,
for real?
No, I don't think it was Kenny Stabler.
I thought this was a real true story. I was starting to get excited.
No, but that's what they used to do.
Oh, okay.
And it happened a lot in Oakland.
Huh. You needed an alias.
Yeah, I wish we'd have had him in those days. Of course, we had no cell phones or anything like that.
Bunt showing made by Galvis, but he'll pull it back, and it's a ball and a strike. Mookie Betts over towards right center, somewhat of a gap in left center field. Red Sox had double play depth in the infield, on top 1-0. One pitch slap foul off to the left out of play. Jerry, if you're ever looking, look at that. Wow, there they are. I didn't know about the shoes.
I didn't notice the shoes. I noticed the socks, but how about the shoes? They look like golf shoes.
Looks like Batman.
And then when he sits down, it's too bad we don't have a shot of the socks.
Oh, my goodness.
Multicolored socks.
That's just the bottom. Where's the rest? Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame dresser. 1 on, 1 out. And Galvis will take it downstairs.
It's funny how some people put on a suit and they just don't look like they belong in a suit. Jim Rice puts on a suit and he looks like he belonged. That suit was built for him.
Made for him. It's like they made it while he was standing there.
Yeah. They probably did.
Maybe they did. Like my suits are pretty much ill-fitting. I've never seen his are never ill-fitting. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Joseph Abood works very hard to be able to throw this together.
Yeah, that's
it's unbelievable.
You got to have the proper model to look.
That's the problem.
Proper.
Yes, there's not a lot you can do about it. That's what he's got to work with. Throw to first and back is Ashe. Freddie Galvis out of the 9 spot, and the shortstop for the Phillies. One of the regulars for the Phillies this year, there have been a lot of changing regulars, especially from where the season began for the Red Sox against the Phillies. A swing and a miss, and there's the 3rd strikeout of the night for Kelly. 2 down in the inning.
All 3 strikeouts for Kelly tonight coming on the breaking ball. Here's the curveball from Joe Kelly, and as I mentioned, it's a pitch that it didn't use a lot of last time against the Mets. A lot of changeups last time out, but the curveball working for him tonight. Oh, we got Jim Sox.
Okay.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
They don't really match with the shoes, though, do they?
Doesn't matter. It's Jim Rice.
Wow.
And TC, look, he's got different.
He's like the Wicked Witch of the West or something with those.
You see TC shoes? He had different. What do you call it? Ties, laces.
For the first and back to the bag is Ashe. What are you talking about?
Laces. Look, the laces on his shoes. Look, they're different color. They're red, like Red Sox. See? Those are TC shoes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was looking at. Okay, I must be looking at Steve Lyons on the far side. Steve Lyons shoes on the right, and he looks like he's got fancy socks on too. He always does too. Yeah, he wears those same kind. Wow. Whew. A lot of fashion statements going on here tonight. Odubel Herrera singled to left field in the first inning. He's got the only hit so far off Joe Kelly. Inside, straightens up Herrera. Well, DraftKings.com is paying out over $300 million this baseball season. DraftKings has given out $34 million to Boston residents alone since the site launched. Get your free entry into a one-day fantasy baseball contest today using promo code NESSN. Leadoff walk by Cody Ashe. He's at first base, held on by Craig. Since then, Rupp has lined out to right. Galvis has struck out, and here comes a 2-1 to Herrera. Swinging a foul tip, 2-2. Wow, this is unbelievable. Gary Strikey, it's Stryker.
Man.
Oh, wow, Stryker.
What is going on?
I got caught slipping.
We're totally out of style.
Where do we get these socks?
I got mine at Marshall's. I don't know. Am I allowed to say that? I got them years ago.
You just got yourself a promo gig.
Nah, I think so. Shoot.
How do you decide what goes with what?
Dio, you see what I'm wearing? I pretty much pick out my clothes in the dark.
It's unbelievable.
Yellow, green, blue, red, maroon.
Yeah.
The suit, Joseph Abboud obviously hooks it up.
Yeah.
The socks, though, whatever's on top of the drawer, you know what I mean? I don't go digging.
So whatever's there, you just slap it on.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, just top. See ya. Tomorrow.
Who
right
knows?
Off the top.
There you go.
Right off the top. Keep it simple.
Joe Kelly trying to keep it simple here with 2 down and Ashe at first base. On the ground softly to Craig at first. Waits on it. Tags the bag. Inning over. Kelly works his way around a leadoff walk. Red Sox have a 1-0 lead. for buildings, factories, and homes across the Northeast. Did you know FW Web did that? Learn more about this proud Boston Red Sox sponsored FWWeb.com. Now it's on to the bottom of the third inning back at Fenway Park. Mookie Betts leading it off and taking a pitch downstairs by Adam Morgan. Betts with a double and a run scored in the first inning. Only run of the game as he hits on the ground this time to Ashe. Throw is low but dug out by Ruff for the first out here at the bottom of the third inning. Well, tune in Sunday to check out the last regular season games for the Pawtucket Red Sox as they host the Buffalo Bisons live on NESN Sunday at 6. Yeah, the minor league's getting ready to be done. This is sort of the time that is almost playoff time in the minor leagues, and as a result, kind of a tough time moving forward for a lot of guys. You may want to rehab to go find games to play that are maybe playoff games at the minor league level at this point.
Yeah, Dustin Pedroia, a good example of that. A guy that's been out a long, long time may benefit from getting 2 or 3 days at the minor league level.
And we've talked about it for a lot of the Red Sox young pitchers and players. You're getting into an area you're not used to that last month of the season that you haven't had before.
And it makes a big difference. It really does. You talk to guys who just come to the big leagues for the first time, the first year, and boy, that extra month, you're not used to it, because you've been at the minor leagues for a few years. You're playing until only the end of August, beginning of September. Now you got a whole nother month to go. And it really is. It's a lot of games.
Reaches out, pops it up, shallow center, and coming in to make a head-first diving catch is Herrera. Nicely done. Did not look like he was going to get there, but he does to make the grab. Nice catch.
That's a really nice play by Herrera. A lot of times you see a guy go feet first into a slide. He goes head first and smacks his face on the grass after making the catch and holds onto the baseball. Terrific play by Herrera.
He did, too. Do a face plant, didn't he?
He sure did.
2 down here, 8 in a row. Now retired by Morgan. And it brings up Xander Bogaerts. Xander with a single and an RBI in the first inning, 1 for 1. To left and a base hit for Bogaerts, who's now 2 for 2 on the night.
All right, now I'm on a campaign to have him lead the league in hits. That's it. Something new, a new goal.
Okay. Well, he starts tonight with 159. He now has 161. He is tied for second with Ian Kinsler, only behind Jose Altuve of the Astros.
Yeah, that's a really nice swing right there. Pulling the ball now a couple of times in this game tonight. Gets the fastball that time and rifles it right in front of Sweeney out there in right field. There you see the leaders.
Yep, this is doable.
This is a competition now. We've got a competition till the end of the season. We want it's a campaign. We want Bogaerts to lead the league in hits.
Well, he's got 2 of them so far tonight. Breaks up a string of 8 in a row. Retired by Adam Morgan, and now David Ortiz getting his second look at the Phillies left-hander. They are shifting this time on the right side of the infield with 2 outs in the inning. David struck out looking in the first inning, one of 3 strikeouts for Adam Morgan in the game. On the ground to first base, fair ball, little bobble by Ruff, but he has time to recover as he tags the bag and ends the inning. We played 3. It's 1-0 Boston. Top half of the fourth inning, 1-0. Red Sox have the lead over the Phillies. Cesar Hernandez leading it off here for the Fightin' Phils. Shows bunt and went after it for strike one. Joe Kelly with 3 strikeouts, a walk. He's given up 1 hit through the first 3 innings. And his ability to mix it up has been a huge turnaround here for Joe Kelly during the course of the year. 6 straight wins.
You know, he has, you know, even from the beginning of the year, you could see that he had good secondary pitches. His curveball, his changeup, but just didn't seem to use them as much as he's using now. He was going a lot with that fastball that could touch 98.
That's the thing.
And if I could touch 98 with a fastball, I'd probably throw that a lot too.
On the ground up the middle, Bogaerts dives and he'll hold on to it. No chance to throw to first base, and an infield hit here for Hernandez to begin things in the fourth inning.
Now, when you got a guy that can run and you got to go that far to get a ball and dive for it, you're not going to get him at first base. Bogaerts into the dive, certainly something a pitcher appreciates, but no play at first base for Bogaerts. Just too much speed for Hernandez. Plus, once you get sliding that far, you can't stop.
Lead runner on here for the Phillies in the fourth inning brings up Aaron Altier, who struck out looking in the first inning. Three strikeouts on the night for Kelly. Wins: Tampa Bay, Detroit, Seattle, Cleveland, Chicago. Last time out, the Mets. A 6-game winning streak for Joe Kelly that started against Tampa Bay on the 1st of August. Almost hits Altier up and in, and it did hit him. So he'll head down to first base. Grazed him, and the first 2 have reached here for the Phillies. Here's the rundown. For a limited time, sign up for a free checking account with Eastern Bank and get $100. Just text MONEY to 36698. Message and data rates may apply.
How about that? Is that down on the truck?
It is. I believe that's Jesse Gregg, our technical director down there. He's the guy that really does the show. Michael Narachi gets a lot of credit. Jeff Mitchell, but unless he pushes the buttons, it doesn't happen.
That's not fair to the other guys. And I'll tell you something else. It looks like he's kind of tracked down there with a rock and roll band or something.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
It does. A lot of buttons. There's a ground ball to first base at the backhand. A bobble by Craig. Has time to get the out at first. And with Kelly alertly covering the bag, they do get Ryan Howard 3-1 on the putout, but the Phillies advance 2 base runners into scoring position.
Craig was thinking right here, going 3-6-1 to get the double play, but never handled the ground ball and thought it was in the glove, but it wasn't. And he had to go find it. Finally does get it and gets it to Kelly, who's doing his job getting to first base. But 2 men get in the scoring position. Watch Craig. He thought he had the ball in the glove. He goes to reach for it. Then he finally realizes it's on the ground.
And I get out to talk to Kelly here. They'll prepare to deal with Darnell Sweeney coming up. Sweeney flied out to Jackie Bradley Jr. at the wall in right field in the second inning. Right in front of the bullpen out there. That's with Hernandez at third, Altier at second base. 1 out. There is strike 1. Joe Kelly in search of his 9th win of the year. First time that he's really been tested in this game with runners at second and third. And a bounce in. Hannigan blocks it. He will quickly go over and grab it as Kelly goes to cover the plate with the runner at third, but not trying it was Hernandez.
Hernandez picking that ball up right away. You can see Hannigan here very good as he blocks the ball off the side of his chest protector and really pounces on it quickly. And once the runner at third base sees that, that's when he has to stop. And he'd have been out by about 10 feet if he tried to score.
In there for strike two. Sweeney didn't think so, but now he's down on the count 1-2.
And he's 6 on that fastball from Joe Kelly. So velocity going up with men in scoring position. Goes inside and catches the inside corner just under the letters.
Late emergency swing, and he almost got his on-deck batter and Darren Ruff very close. Ended up hitting the wall over there, fortunately for Ruff and the fans.
That's a very late swing on a fastball right there, and fortunately nobody hurt.
Darren Ruff, happy he's not hurt, waiting on deck, grabbed his attention. Second and third, one out. And Sweeney down on the count 1-2. Very high, ball two. This is the final interleague series of the year for the Red Sox. They are 10-7 against National League teams. They've secured at least a 500 mark in interleague play for the 12th time in 13 years, from 2003 to 2015. Only exception was last year, and they finished 9-11 against the NL. Ground ball down the first baseline. Craig will go to first for the out, but in the back door from third comes Hernandez to tie the game 1-1. On the ground out to first base, the Phillies have tied it up.
All you got to do with infield back like this is make contact. As long as it's not back to the pitch, you're going to get a run on it, and that's exactly what happens. Everybody playing back as they should be with 2 men in scoring position this early in the ball game, and Sweeney gets that ground ball to first base and picks up the RBI.
So 2 down, runner at third, and Darren Ruff the batter. He was a strikeout victim in the second inning. He went swinging and chops one foul outside of third. Well, a happy youngster right there. 0-1 the count to Ruff. And he gets jammed, grounds one to deep short, and a bobble there from short left, and a run scores. The Phillies take a 2-1 lead. Darren Ruff able to reach at first base, and scoring from third is Altier to put the Phillies on top.
It may have been close at first base because Ruff doesn't run very well, but when Bogaerts goes into the jump, the ball just comes out of his hand. Transfer to the hand, drops the baseball, and from that point, no chance of getting anybody. And with a couple of ground balls, they have 2 runs.
Well, Ruff now 4 for his last 4 with runners in scoring position. It's a base hit and an RBI, and the Phillies now have a 2-1 lead. There's Cody Ashe. He'll foul it off himself for strike one. Now an infield hit and a hit batter started this inning. They end up both scoring. And now the Phillies with a 2-1 advantage. Strike over the inside corner. She didn't like it. Says something to Dale Scott as he finds himself down 0-2.
Perfect pitch by Kelly on the inside part of the plate to get ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Comes with that fastball. Certainly not a pitch you want to swing at. That's one that'll break you back.
Cameron Rupp waiting on deck here for the Phillies with 2 down, runner at first. Here in the Phillies' top of the 4th inning, they have just taken the lead. Straightens him up and misses inside. 2-2. Fastball at 95 miles an hour. It's been the most taxing inning of his outing so far for Joe Kelly. The 20th pitch of the inning is coming up. And it's a full count now. So Ruff can get a start at first base with 2 away. And the full count to Cody Ashe. Second full count of the night for Joe Kelly. And he walks him, kind of yanked it down and in, and that is the second time that he's walked Ashe tonight. So 2 on with 2 down. I want to remind you to follow the Red Sox all season with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet today. And Carl Willis going to join the conversation at the mound, the Red Sox pitching coach. Joe Kelly has given up a couple of runs in this inning, gave up the infield hit to Ruff, and now a walk to Ashe, and the Phillies have 2 on with 2 down. See Wade Miley tomorrow and Eduardo Rodriguez on Sunday in this 3-game series against the Phillies. Dale Scott up to break up the conversation, and it looks like Hannigan and Kelly have been doing most of the talking.
There's a lot of listening going on there between Hannigan and Willis, the pitching coach, and it looked like Joe Kelly doing most of the talking with that man at second base.
Two on, 2 down, and Cameron Rupp, the batter, lined out to Jackie Bradley Jr. in right field in the 3rd inning. 0 for 1. 7th member of the Phillies to bat here in the top half of the 4th inning. In the dirt and surrounded by Hannigan. Pitch 69 for Joe Kelly as the count is rising right now for Joe. Down the middle for strike 1. Ruff at second base, Ashe at first base. 2 down here for the Phillies. Tried to hold up. I think he went around. They check. Yes, he did, says C.B. Bucknor, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
That's a very good slider from Kelly. One that you're very tempted to swing at, but it's going to finish outside the strike zone, and clearly a swing right there by Rupp. There's the breaking ball. Looks very good there, but ends up out of the strike zone. Tough pitch to lay off.
Throw to second base, and they got hung up rough, and now they got the runner at first hung up. Maybe. No, they got nobody hung up. Everybody is safe, and they end up advancing a base in the process as Ruff takes third base.
That was weird. You could see Hannigan wanting to throw to second base. There originally was nobody there at second because the runner was way off the bag. Now, by the time Holt gets there, the runner takes off from third. He can't get him. Looks to first base, and Craig was not on the bag. So he had nowhere to go with the baseball. He realizes right away he's not going to get the man at third base. Then he looks to first base, and Craig, you can see, was just kind of standing at his position. There's nobody to throw to.
My question is, why didn't he go to third? As falling down on that play was rough. He actually fell down between second and third. Ends up being a stolen base, first of Ruff's career. Watch the runner fall down between second and third when Holt didn't go in that direction. So he's down.
He fell down, and that's why Hannigan threw it there. And well, that should have been the end of the inning for the Red Sox, but they could not execute the at least get one out of it.
Full count, 2 down, first and third. And Rupp cranks it foul down the right field line back into the grandstand.
What do you think Ruff feels at third base right now? I mean, he knew when he fell down he was in huge trouble. And he probably can't believe he's standing on third base safe.
He's got his first stolen base of his career.
It was not a pretty one either.
Phillies had to battle in this inning. Not out of it yet. On the ground, foul. Nice pick.
She's already made a couple of terrific plays down there tonight. I mean, she makes it look so easy. It's really not that easy.
'75th pitch now for Joe Kelly, and again a 3-2 to Rupp. And he got him. So Kelly picks up his 4th strikeout, but the Phillies pick up 2 and take a 2-1 lead. Eastern Bank is here to make your banking and your day easier. See how at easternbank.com. Here, your first Eastern Bank. The Red Sox have relinquished the lead here as they come to bat in the bottom of the fourth inning now, trailing 2-1. Adam Morgan back on the mound for the Phillies. Travis Shaw hitting it off and taking a breaking ball for strike one. Shaw lined out to right field in the first inning, 0 for 1. That's a fly ball to left field this time. Darnell Sweeney. One down. Ace Ticket has great deals on Red Sox tickets for the games against the Phillies and Toronto. With tickets starting at only $12. Ace also has great deals on all Patriots and Boston Bruins games. Visit aceticket.com. A big crowd on hand here tonight for the first of three between the Red Sox and the Phillies. With one out, here is Alan Craig, who ended up flying out to center field in the first inning. Getting the start tonight for Boston at first base. Game and a half difference atop the division between the Blue Jays and the Yankees to start tonight's action. And the Yankees have a 3-0 lead over Tampa Bay. They're in the fifth, while Baltimore has a 2-1 lead over Toronto. They're in the fifth. Line drive foul down beyond Canvas Alley.
And we'll still see plenty of New York and Toronto the rest of the way out. Toronto coming into Fenway. We go up to Toronto. And, of course, 4 games the last week of the season at Yankee Stadium.
Two pitch on the ground to third. Ashe with a bobble, but has time to recover. And he's able to get Craig at first base. 2 down.
One thing I'm happy about, Don, I'm very happy about, is on this next road trip, we travel on an off day down to St. Pete.
Right.
That happens to be the same night the Patriots open up. And we will be in time
to watch
the game.
Very nice.
That works out great.
2 down in the fourth inning. Rusney Castillo the batter. Here is the upcoming schedule, as the Red Sox still have to host the Toronto Blue Jays, part of this homestand. And then, yes, we're traveling on that off day, the Thursday on the 10th.
The 10th.
Yes.
Thursday night football. We're going to be able to see it.
Now, for packing purposes, because that's what's going on tomorrow for me.
Already?
Absolutely. Swing and a miss. Because
3 polos for.
That's what I'm asking. What are we doing in Tampa Bay? What's the 3 polos? Oh, so 3 Joseph Abood polos. So we're talking 6 suits.
No, 6.
3 suits, 6 combinations.
Yeah.
Because it's a total of 9 games, right? It's not a 4-game series mixed in on this trip.
No, so you wear 1 suit twice, 3 suits twice
with 2 different combinations.
3 polos and
3 polos, and that's your 9.
That's it.
So that's what I'm asking. You don't pack tomorrow for Thursday? Rusney swings and misses and strikes out. We're through 4. Philadelphia has a 2-1 lead. Boston Bruins season went on sale this morning. Purchase your tickets by visiting bostonbruins.com or by using Bruins mobile app.
Right there, first in line, I was.
Freddie Galvis leading it off, taking a curveball for ball one. You were first in line this morning for Bruins tickets?
Better believe it, baby.
Ready to go.
Montreal tickets.
Right around the corner. Galvis with a swing and a miss, chasing that pitch up and away. Galvis struck out swinging in the third inning, 0 for 1. I'll say this about your hockey knowledge. When I first started working with you in 2001, all you knew about was back checking. That was your only advice to anybody who ever came on with us from the Bruins. Even before a playoff series, I forgot who you told me. You really need to worry about back checking because that's all you knew.
Well, somebody told me in the truck last night.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it wasn't even in your own.
No.
But you've come such a long way over the years. I think at this point you're actually really pretty knowledgeable when it comes to the NHL.
I got to say this. To me, there's nothing as exciting as playoff hockey.
Oh, I think they're the greatest athletes in sports.
I mean,
my opinion.
Playoff hockey to me is like just incredible.
Awesome. There's a drive to center field that has Betts on the run, and he'll get there. Didn't think he had a chance out of the gate. Sorry to doubt you, Mookie. Gets back there and makes the grab without a problem.
Well, speed. I mean, speed makes up for a lot of mistakes, and you can see Mookie right here. Actually, he gets a decent jump on that ball, and then it just speed takes over to make the rest of the play going back to the warning track. Red Sox now blessed with a very good speed all over the outfield, and Castillo, Betts, and Bradley Jr. That's a long way to go to make that play.
Hey, Jerry, you mentioned that speed Mookie Betts just displayed. I talked to him yet again about the makeup of the outfielders and how much speed and their quickness can be a factor. And he still doubts that they're equally as fast as, any of the top speed or top rated guys in the league. But there was a pretty heated conversation between Mookie Betts and Alejandro De Aza when he was still here. They were comparing how quickly they can get to 160 feet or 180 feet, excuse me, because that's the equivalent of I guess a double, and he said he can do it in about 6.5 seconds, which apparently is fast.
Yeah, that's real fast.
Fast.
That's very fast.
Alejandro De Aza said he did it in 6.1 in his prime. 6.1 seconds in his prime back in 02, I think he said.
From first to second, or a straight out 180?
Well, they run a straight 180 in spring training, but it's to equate to running a double, but obviously they don't take into account that turn.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was going to say that. Those speeds are very quick.
This will get down over as Castillo throwing to second base. Could be close. Throw will be. Still haven't got in yet. Now he's out. Took a little while. He took a different route trying to get to the bag. Kind of went around it and finally tagged out by Brock Holt for the second out.
Well, we're just talking about the outfield and the plays. I mean, look at this play. Rusney Castillo spinning around and making this not even very close. The question was, Brock Holt going to be able to finally tag him? He did. But look how quickly Castillo gets to that ball and gets that ball in. Holt was kind of creeping up toward the outfield. That's why it made it a difficult play at second base. And finally, after all that reaching and forever for the bag, Holt finally tags him. You can't blame Herrera for going there. I mean, that looked like a cinch double, and Castillo quickly turned it to an out at second base.
Rusney Castillo's fourth assist. He's had 2 in right and now 2 from his position in left field.
Look at that crazy tag at second base. Now watch the slide coming in. He's got the ball in front of him, so he knows how to slide away from it. Can't touch the bag. Starts swimming around, and finally gets tagged out.
Pretty good attempt.
I'll tell you got to give him credit.
Yep.
He tried everything he has in the book to try to get back to second base.
Cesar Hernandez taking a strike.
It was like trying to catch a fish, wasn't it?
Brock finally got him. So it is a single thrown out at second base. He would have been safe if he had been able to keep that hand on the bag, but
he was just
no chance.
That's because he had to go so far to his left that he really had, no chance he could reach it.
Fly ball right field. Jackie Bradley Jr. wanders over and puts it away. Halfway through this one, it's 2-1 Phillies. Let's take a look at the Red Sox box score. Your cheesesteak. Text 1 for yes. Text 2 for no. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. One message per vote. Visit NESN.com/terms and conditions. A liner into left and a base hit for Ryan Hanigan to open up this bottom of the 5th inning.
Hey, Hanigan not waiting around, gets that fastball at 87 miles an hour and rips it into left field for the base hit. So Hanigan continues to swing the bat very well. Good pitch to hit too, 87 and middle in. Do you like onions on your
I don't.
Cheese? I don't either. Nope. I don't like onions on anything.
I like onions. I just don't want them on my cheesesteak. We are kind of at the bottom of the barrel on our questions right now. We are.
You like onions on
It is. Jackie Bradley Jr. stands in and takes a pitch outside. I thought your idea was better, whether or not the fly ball that I caught was actually off the bat of somebody.
That was my suggestion for the poll question tonight, and they ignored. They ignored me.
The senior member of the broadcast team was ignored,
and we went with cheesesteak and onions.
Onions on a cheesesteak. Jackie Bradley Jr. will be next. Actually, he's not. Jackie Bradley Jr. is batting right now. It'll be Mookie Betts next. As the 1-1 pitch is outside. Now Jackie Bradley struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. 4 strikeouts on the night for Adam Morgan.
At the proper time, I will get to your catch against the Green Monster.
Yep. Three and 1. First 3-ball count of the night for Adam Morgan.
I'd like the cue to let the truck to cue that up and make it ready.
Ready for the proper time?
Yeah, which is coming soon.
Outside for ball 4, and things starting off well here at the bottom of the order.
Okay. You claim that this ball was hit by a hitter in the batter's box off the wall at JetBlue Park in Fort Myers.
They don't have it yet.
It was, in my humble opinion, it was not hit. Somebody lobbed that ball to you, and I can prove it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Single by Hannigan, a walk for Bradley Jr. with nobody out. Here is Mookie Betts. Strike over the inside corner.
Now, anybody that thinks that this ball's hit is crazy.
Shane Victorino slicing away from me, timed the leap perfectly, and came down with the baseball. That's my story.
You know what the giveaway is?
What?
If you look at the baseball very, very closely, there's no rotation on the baseball.
I will admit, it kind of knuckled out there with very little rotation. But it was hit hard by Shane Victorino.
There's no rotation on the baseball. When a baseball is hit, you can't see the seams. And you can see the seams on that lobbed fake catch against the Green Monster. So don't give me Shane Victorino hit it.
This could be a gapper. It's down and over to play it is Altier from second base. Hannigan's going to make his way around, and this game is tied 2-2. Mookie Betts sending that to right center field, nicely cutting it off. Aaron Altier out there in right, and the Red Sox have tied it up 2-2.
Yeah, Mookie Betts gets his second double of the ball game. That's good hitting there. Fastball down in the strike zone, taking it to right center field. Head right on the baseball. Perfect swing by Mookie Betts. You can see the tailing away from the center fielder. It ends up being played by Altier, the right fielder. Red Sox get the run, tie the ball game up, and have a second and third with nobody out.
Well, brings up Brock Holt as the Red Sox here have a chance now to take the lead. Holt singled in the first inning, flied out to center in the third. Now he drives one to center. Herrera will make the running catch, tagging at third, and scoring is Jackie Bradley Jr. The Red Sox take a 3-2 lead.
That's another ball hit very hard by the Red Sox, and Brock Holt a line drive, but Herrera playing him very well out there in center field, but he gets the run home, and the Red Sox take the 3-2 lead. That ball hit hard, slicing away, but Herrera's there to make the fine play. No chance to get Bradley. Herrera's made a couple of nice plays out there in center field tonight for the Phillies.
45th RBI of the year for Brock Holt, and brings the Red Sox on top now 3-2. Xander Bogaerts about to bat. He is 2 for 2 in this ball game. Bogaerts with 2 singles, both to left field, and an RBI. For strike one. Action now for the Phillies for the first time tonight. Hector Neris up in the pen. A little bit low. Coming into this inning, Morgan had retired 15 out of 16 Red Sox. His pitching coach Bob McClure looking on, the former Red Sox pitching coach. Fouled off to the right, and it's 1-2.
Well, Bogaerts had a very good pitch to hit there, a fastball down the middle of the plate, and fouled it back. It's one he'd like to have back again. Last pitch to Bogaerts. That just a little farther outside than I thought it was, but still a very good swing.
Bluff off the backside by Morgan, no throw. And back to the bag at second goes Betts.
One of the reasons, base stealers get a lot of attention with one out, because that's when they like to steal third with one out, to get there before two are out, and then they can score on a sacrifice fly. So that second baseman playing very close to the bag, holding Mookie Betts on.
David Ortiz waiting on deck. 1-2 pitch coming up here to Bogaerts. Down and in the dirt. And he started with Hannigan singling to left and walk for Jackie Bradley Jr. Double by Betts. That scored the second run on the sac fly by Brock Holt and put the Red Sox on top. And now heading out is Rupp to talk to Morgan. Well, tomorrow on Dining Playbook, join Billy Costa and Jenny Johnson as they talk restaurant designs, plus go into the kitchen with Mookie Betts as he cooks up his favorite salmon mac and cheese dish. Don't miss Dining Playbook tomorrow morning at 9. Runner at second, one down here in the Boston fifth inning. Already a productive inning for the Red Sox. They've grabbed two and take a 3-2 lead right now. 2-2 to Bogaerts coming up. And a swing and a miss as Xander chases. He strikes out. 5 Ks for Adam Morgan.
Chasing a changeup. Yep, you're exactly right. 77 miles an hour off the outside part of the plate. That ball just tailing away from Bogaerts. You see the grip on the changeup and that movement away.
Nika Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. The pitching line brought to you by your area Lexus dealers. 4 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, a walk, and 5 Ks for Morgan. His 72nd pitch coming up to David Ortiz, who takes strike one. David struck out looking in the first, grounded out to the first baseman in the third. Not a complete shift here. It's certainly playing for him to pull. Galvis still barely on the left side of the infield. Big swing and a miss for David on a pitch down and away.
He's looking fastball middle in, did not get it. Got a fastball away, and he was in pull mode right here, as you can see by that front foot. Front foot kind of out toward the pitcher, and he's looking to pull that ball, but it wasn't in a pull zone.
Time call. David backs out. Got it from Dale Scott. Travis Shaw waiting on deck. Ortiz may have gone. He did. He's rung up by the home plate umpire Dale Scott. 6 strikeouts for Morgan, but the Red Sox get 2 and take a 3-2 lead.
1 runs. Xander Bogaerts with a base hit to left field will bring in Mookie Betts to give the Red Sox their first. And Betts with a double in the gap. Heading out toward the bullpen area, scores Hannigan, and then a sacrifice line drive right there by Brock Holt. Red Sox with the 3 runs, the Phillies with 2 to this point of the game.
Into the top of the 6th inning. Aaron Altier batting here now for the Phillies to begin things, with Joe Kelly now with a lead again. Altier has struck out looking, been hit by a pitch, and has scored a run for the Phillies. They got both of their runs in the top half of the 4th inning. RBIs for Darnell Sweeney and for Darren Ruff. 90th pitch for Joe Kelly, and it's flared foul off to the right, out of play. A lot more pitches early in this game for Joe Kelly than we've seen the last couple of times out. Last 2 times getting 7 1/3 deep into his outing on 103 pitches the time before last, and 102 pitches got him 7 1/3 last time out at New York against the Mets. Pitch 91 to the first batter of the 6th inning. Framed by Hannigan, but it's away.
Shook off a number of pitches, decided on the slider. That's what Kelly wanted to throw in that situation, hoping that he would chase it. Did not. Going to try it again.
Kelly asked him where it was. Umpire said it was outside.
Wasn't outside.
No, Joe Kelly didn't think so.
Might have been a little bit low.
Altier chops it back over the mound. Slowly it'll be Holt, barehanded, no throw. Not hit hard, well placed as it turns out. Altier on to begin things here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, Brock Holt did the right thing by not throwing that baseball. Nothing good could come of that, especially where he got it. He gets it barehanded, and he's going to have to throw across his body to get it to first base. And they really had no chance to get Altier at first base. So it is the wise thing by holding on to it and avoids throwing the ball away.
Lead runner on here for Philadelphia. Ryan Howard now bats 0 for 2. He's grounded out to third base, bounced out to first. Into the shift go the Red Sox on the right side on Howard. Strike called, and Hannigan out to talk to Kelly. Now, for every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will make a donation to Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 commitment once again this season. CVS Pharmacy, the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. Hey, look at the franchise ranks for Ryan Howard. 2nd in home runs, 3rd in RBIs, 5th in extra base hits, 5th in slugging percentage. Mike Schmidt with the most home runs in a Phillies uniform. There's a liner down the right field line that is a foul ball. Not the numbers you're used to from Howard over the years, especially I guess you'd say in his prime, but still 21 home runs, 72 RBIs on the year.
Yeah, the low batting average of 237 coming into the game.
Outside for ball 2, 2-2. Joe Kelly up over his average. Ways to go to get to that 118 high. Looking back over the years, Howard with the Phillies had 58 home runs back in 2006. Elevating is Kelly on the fastball, and he strikes out Ryan Howard for the first out of the 6th inning.
A good job there between Hannigan and Kelly. They got a couple of strikes on Howard. They want to elevate, and that's exactly where they get the fastball up. He's a very good low ball hitter, a slight uppercut swing, and those guys are certainly vulnerable to the high fastball.
Now the pitching line for Joe Kelly, brought to you by Ace Ticket. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs. Both earned. He's walked 2, struck out 5. Pitch 99 coming here to Darnell Sweeney. And it's a breaking ball that misses high. Onto the phone. We'll get some action for the first time in the Red Sox pen. Throw to first, and really threw that over to first very hard. Noe Ramirez first up for the Red Sox. That's the first toss of his warm-up bid out there in the pen. The throw over, and again close. Kelly's already picked off one Philly tonight. He's able to pick off Cesar Hernandez in the first inning.
And he's making it very close over at first base. He's got a lot of guys diving back and just barely getting his fingers back in there was Altier.
Joe Kelly was standing off the mound looking into the dugout, see if the Red Sox are going to challenge that. We got the word they were not. It's outside to Sweeney. And it's 100 pitches now for Kelly, who falls behind 2-0. Fifth straight game for Kelly, up over 100 pitches in his outing. And a swing and a miss. High fastball.
A similar type swing right there. Slight uppercut swing, and again getting that high fastball by Sweeney. See the hands drop a little bit underneath the baseball, and that means he's probably a pretty good low ball hitter. Not as good with the baseball upstairs.
Foul back, 2-2. Infield hit for Altier to begin the inning. Strikeout for Howard. 1 out, 1 on. 2-2 pitch coming to Sweeney. Framed by Hannigan, but a little bit up.
That's the right idea, though. They wanted to elevate that fastball again to see if Sweeney would chase it, but this time he does not. Just missed being a called strike, and Obviously no swing by Sweeney.
8th 3-ball count for Joe Kelly of the night. Runner goes, and the pitch is ball 4 as walking is Sweeney. So the 3rd walk allowed by Joe Kelly. It's time for a game break brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Tom? All right, Tom, thanks very much. Carl Willis making his way to the mound here to talk to Joe Kelly, who's given up an infield hit and a walk in this inning, wrapped around a strikeout of Ryan Howard.
You look at the number of pitches for Kelly on the night, 104. He probably will be on his last hitter here unless he gets him with 1 or 2 pitches.
The 118 is a season high. That was back on April 17th.
Yeah, I don't think they want to get to that point with Kelly tonight.
Well, don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings live right after the game. TC, Jim Rice, and Steve Lyons will break down today's game. You'll hear from Joe Kelly. Whatever, whenever, wherever. Who but WB Mason? 2 on, 1 away for the Phillies here in the 6th inning. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. Ruff struck out swinging in the 2nd, reached on an infield hit in the 4th, and picked up an RBI. His 27th of the year, and at the time gave the Phillies a 2-1 lead. Now the Red Sox have a 3-2 lead as the Phillies threaten here in the 6th. On the ground towards shortstop. Bogarts to second for 1. On to first for 2. Double play gets Joe Kelly out of a jam in the 6th inning. Red Sox still have a 3-2 lead.
And that's the way the infielders, middle infielders like it. That ground ball going toward the bag makes it a much easier double play to turn. You'll see Bogarts right here moving toward the bag. The little underhand flip. Beautiful. Turn it over in plenty of time, and also no contact at second base for Brock Holt.
Well, Shaw leading it off here in the 6th inning, fouling it off to the left.
Kelly knows right there he's got a deuce.
Shaw takes strike 2, and it's 0-2. Now Joe Kelly, 106 pitches through 6 innings as a 2-hopper gets out to Hernandez. Throws out Shaw for the first out here at the bottom of the 6th inning. Noe Ramirez has sat down. Alexia Gondo now warming in the Boston pen as Joe Kelly was able to get through the 6th inning. That was a big double play for Joe Kelly. As you mentioned, Jerry, he was very close to coming out of the game in the middle of that inning.
Yeah, I think he's probably one batter away had he had a long pitch count with that hitter.
One out here in the 6th, 4 in a row, retired by Adam Morgan. And it brings up Alan Craig. 0 for 2 tonight. He is flied out to center and grounded out to third base. To center field, off the end of the bat, Herrera's got to race in, and he does. Making it look easy out there in center field tonight. He's been very good. 2 down.
Those are tough to judge, too, because they're toward the end of the bat, and a lot of times you'll see center fielders just freeze on a play like that because you can't tell whether it's been solid contact or not. So once you realize, obviously, it's off the end of the bat, he starts to make his move and makes the play.
Two down, 5 in a row, retired by Morgan, and brings up Rusney Castillo. There is a strike to Castillo, 0 for 2. He's grounded out to second base and struck out swinging. One of 6 strikeouts on the night for the Phillies left-hander. Action for the Phillies again. Reese is up again. He had been up earlier. Morgan giving up a run in the first, 2 in the 5th. Now ground ball to shortstop, Freddie Galvis. And a 1-2-3 6th inning from Morgan. It's on to the 7th. Red Sox holding on to a 3-2 lead. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Your local Subaru dealers. And by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Thank you, New England, for 60 great years. Inside our television center there, and our truck here from Fenway Park, 3-2. Red Sox have the lead. Jerry, if I worked in there, if I was a Michael Narachi, a Jeff Mitchell, or a Kevin Cedar, I would have a huge headache by the end of the game. There's just too much stuff going on.
Of all those different televisions, I wouldn't know what shot to take.
Which one do you take? There's so many options.
Yeah, it'd be an awful mess.
Oh, it's endless. I mean, look at this one. This camera's just walking around all the time. Alexi Agondo in here as Kobayashi leads it off for the Phillies in the 7th.
I bet you I could miss a whole sequence of plays without any problem.
No problem.
I'd be like cut 4, and then I would be supposed to be cutting 2.
Just looking at the right fielder for no apparent reason. Agondo into his 55th game of the year. And a foul back to the screen, 0-2. Got a piece of Hannigan, I think, on the way by.
Yep, sure did. Right off the left part of that mask for Ryan Hannigan.
That'll bounce in for ball 1, 1-2. Well, stay tuned for Red Sox Final presented by Uno's. TC, Jim Rice, and Steve Lyons will have an update on the AL East race.
You know what I can't wait for? Tomorrow night's poll question.
What do you think tomorrow night's going to be?
Paper or plastic? I mean, that's what we've got to.
That's what happened. Dale Scott getting that on the bare hand, it looked like.
Would you like coffee with cream or milk?
I prefer cream.
I like it black.
I have a feeling we're going to take a look at the update of the Scion poll now that you brought it back up again. 1-2 pitch to Kobayashi. Thought about it, but did not pull the trigger. It's ball 2, 2-2. Joe Kelly tonight, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, walked 3, struck out 5. Needs a little help from the bullpen to pick up his 7th straight win. But he departs with the lead, coming in individually at 8-6.
Ooh, that's a good pitch right there by Agondo. Good slider down and in, and not getting the benefit of the call from Dale Scott. You see this pitch where it ends up, and it's pretty nasty.
Foul off to the left, out of play. Now she has walked twice in the ball game tonight, both times against Joe Kelly. On deck, Cameron Rupp, the catcher for the Phillies, then Freddie Galvis expected here as part of this top of the 7th inning for the Phillies. Pitch 7 of the at bat coming up. And it's foul back again. Action in the Red Sox pen. Tommy Lane. Alexi Agondo first into this game. We saw Noe Ramirez also warming in the pen. Foul back again. Agondo retired all 4 batters that he faced, pitching the end of the 8th and the 9th Wednesday against New York. Stranded his one inherited runner left on by Craig Breslow in the 8th inning in his last appearance. In his 15 games, Alexi with a 2.63 earned run average. And 11 of his last 15 have been scoreless appearances. Laced foul down the right field line. Well back into the grandstand. They're still looking for it.
Sometimes it hits, it just keeps rolling down. I think that's what's happened with this one.
About 4 rows down from where I think it hit initially.
Somebody finally, she got it.
Yep,
she finally got it.
Popped up, foul ground. Hannigan headed over by the seats, but will not have a play. On the ground, and a fair ball down the first base line. Gets hung up over by the tarp area. Looks like it hit a bucket down there, and to second base goes Ashe. They got the bucket down there as the ball attendant was trying to get out of the way, and went the other direction back towards the playing surface in the infield after it hit it.
Yeah, we expected that to go all the way down that corner and bounce out to Jackie Bradley, where it might have been a single, but when it hits the bucket, it comes back toward the top, and then Alan Craig has to track it down, and by that time Ashe easily in second base with the 2-base hit. Plus that is in play, obviously, the bucket that they sit on.
So a double to begin things here in the 7th inning, and Cameron Rupp now the batter, 0 for 2. He's lined out to right, struck out swinging. Inside, and he gets hit. So the hit batsman here with nobody out. And the first 2 have reached against Agondo here in the 7th inning.
That fastball, it just keeps running inside and gets the right arm, it looks like, of Rupp. They're going to check him out at first base. And he's telling the trainer to go back. He's okay, but take a peek anyway.
All right, Jerry, we got the time out to check out the results of tonight's Dunkin' Donuts poll question. We asked you, like onions on your cheesesteak.
Yeah.
A lot of people like onions on their cheesesteak.
Wow.
72% of the people out there like onions on their cheesesteak. What does he have against onions? Flavor?
Who, me?
Yeah. No, you're the only guy here.
Oh.
So. Who else am I talking to?
They might. They're going to be bunting. They're going to be bunting here. So watch out.
There we go. Galvis is squaring, and he lets it pass, and it's a strike. Double for Ashe to begin the inning. Rupp hit by a pitch. They're trying to get the runners in scoring position. A sacrifice situation here in the 7th.
Craig in very close at first base. The whole idea here is to try to bunt the ball at third base and pull that third baseman off the bag and leave third base vacant.
And he bunts it foul.
That's a terrible pitch to bunt at right there. That ball was down and in, and it's virtually impossible to bunt that ball down the third baseline. I mean, watch where the location of the pitch is and how he tries to bunt it. I mean, he's lucky he didn't pop that up to an infielder. Anytime you see that bat drop like that on a bunt attempt, it's not going to be a good result.
Oh, 2 to Galvis. Scoring again, and this time it's going to miss for a ball. So with 2 strikes, going to try to get it down.
As the squaring around again, and that ball not close to being a strike. Nice pick by Hannigan behind the plate. You know, Galvis might have been doing that on his own with 2 strikes. A lot of times guys that hit the bottom of the lineup of bunches will do that, and sometimes it's against the wishes of the manager. You know, they might take off the bunt sign, but they feel like they didn't get the job done and they've got to try it again. See if he's swinging a bunting with 2 strikes this time.
Pete McCann right now, the helm of the Phillies, of course, looking on, and there's a 1-2 pitch. First going off the backside of Gondo, no throw. Double start of this inning by Cody Ashe. We're up hit by a pitch, 2 on, nobody out. Does try to bunt it, pops it up instead, and that is out number 1.
I'll tell you, that was 3 real bad attempts right there by Galvis to try to advance those men to second and third with nobody out. Tries to bunt again, and the barrel of the bat, if you notice the barrel of the bat, it's underneath the baseball. And you can't help but pop a ball like that up. So he was going to be out anyway, even if the ball dropped in. But look at the barrel of the bat down below the baseball. That's just not good bunting fundamentals right there.
So Alexia Gondo, allowing 2 runners on, does get the 1 out as he departs. The pitching change from Fenway. Red Sox have a 3-2 lead. Throughout New England. Back at Fenway, 3-2. Red Sox have the lead over the Philadelphia Phillies with 1 out here in the 7th inning. Tommy Lane into his 52nd game of the year, a career high for him, 1-1 with a 4.10 earned run average. He's logged 41 2/3 innings, got 41 Ks in those 41 2/3. He has walked 21. Opponents hitting at 245 against Lane. Started the 8th inning on Tuesday night against the Yankees. Tired the only batter that he faced in Brian McCann, getting him to ground out and was lifted from the game. Now he comes in with runners at first and second, 1 out. Odubel Herrera, the batter, and first bluff by Tommy Lane off the backside. Cody Ashe at second base. Cameron Rupp at first here for Philadelphia in a 1-run game. And Noe Ramirez back up again. He was First up for the Red Sox, we have now seen Agondo and Lane ahead of him. And a pitch for a strike as Herrera seemed to be bunting there.
I think the manager would prefer that he swing away, obviously, now with one out and the man in scoring position at second base. Maybe just faking a bunt to draw in Shore a little bit at third base.
Outside, 1-1. Last time out, Lane made his 6th straight scoreless appearance. Last 6 appearances, they're hitting an .083 against him. One hit in the last 21 at bats by a lefty, as this lefty takes strike 2. Timar Gomez up in the pen right now for the Phillies. Their starter Adam Morgan has thrown 83 pitches through the first 6 innings and it's not pitched that badly. This one fouled off to the left out of play. Cesar Hernandez waiting on deck for the Phillies here in the 7th inning. Gondo started this inning, gave up the double to Cody Ashe, hit Cameron Rupp. Freddie Galvis popping out to the third baseman at foul ground. Travis Shaw. Red Sox change pitchers, bring in Tommy Lane, and it's ahead of Herrera here, 1-2. In the dirt, gathered by Hannigan, 2-2. Right now you can get up to 60 months with no interest on anything at Jordan's Furniture. Furnish one room or your entire home. Best of all, you get to enjoy it now. Visit Jordans.com for details. 2 on, 1 away here in the 7th inning. Phillies trailing the Red Sox 3-2 right now, but they are threatening here against Tommy Lane. Herrera strikes out. Pitch under his hands, and a big strikeout for Lane is the second out of the 7th inning.
You know, when you're up there in that situation, lefty against lefty, you got breaking ball in the back of your mind, but Herrera right here cannot get to the fastball that's inside. You start thinking they're going to go away with that breaking ball, and then you get beat inside with a fastball. That's exactly what happens to Herrera.
They're going left, right here in the matchup, says Torey Lovullo back out there to make a change. Red Sox have a 3-2 lead. Ramirez coming in.
3-run breaking balls, sliders, and curveballs. Curveball right there. The final 2 on fastballs, elevating the fastball that time, and then once again elevating the fastball to Ryan Howard.
3-2. Red Sox have the lead right now as Noe Ramirez's first pitch is in there for strike one. Cesar Hernandez. Ramirez into his 5th game of the year, 0-1 with a 4.76 earned run average. Opponent's hitting at 269 against the right-hander, who is part of the September call-ups for the Red Sox, coming back up again. 3rd stint of the year with Boston for Noe Ramirez. .68% fastballs for Ramirez, 28% breaking balls, 4% changeup. His arsenal. Spending the bulk of the year with the Pawtucket Red Sox. Opponents hit a .217 against him in Pawtucket this year. Hernandez with a swing and a miss, 1-2. There's action in the Red Sox pen. The left-hander Robbie Ross Jr. up. Already seen Agondo, Lane, now Ramirez in relief of Joe Kelly. With the first 6 innings tonight, gave up the 2 runs the Phillies have at the moment. One-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Ramirez strikes out Hernandez. Let's take a look at the updated Red Sox box score. On January 9th as they sail the Caribbean on Celebrity's 2016 Red Sox Fan Cruise. Space is limited. Call 1-888-727-4907 or contact your travel agent today. Now back on the mound is Adam Morgan, and why not? He's retired the last 6 Red Sox in a row and has pitched pretty well here tonight. He does trail in the game 3-2, but his pitch got in pretty good shape. 83 tonight, his high 98. He's not gone up over 100 yet in his 12th start of the year, and he'll deal with Ryan Hannigan to begin things here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hannigan takes a look at strike one. Ryan struck out swinging in the 2nd inning, singled in the 5th, came around to score the 2nd Red Sox run. Red Sox had a 1-0 lead when the Phillies got 2 in the 4th inning. Red Sox came back with 2 of their own in the bottom of the 5th and are holding on to a 3-2 lead. Phillies had a good opportunity and a promising start to the top half of this inning. Runners at first and second, nobody out, but could not score as Hannigan is down 1-2.
That's a great job by the Red Sox bullpen, and we'll show you that after Hannigan hits. But Red Sox bullpen getting the Red Sox out of a big jam right there.
Hannigan on the ground, left side. Rounding behind it is Galvis, and the shortstop throws out Hannigan.
Let's go back to the 7th inning, and first it's Agondo. He gets the pop up on the bunt with 2 strikes for the first out. Tommy Lane comes in, fastball inside for the strikeout, and then Noe Ramirez comes in and picks up the strikeout right there. So 3 different pitches get 3 outs out of the bullpen for the Red Sox at a big time in the game.
Another one up in the pen after seeing Agondo, Lane, and Ramirez. Now to Zawa, getting ready for the 8th inning. Jackie Bradley Jr. drives this to center field. Back goes Herrera at the wall. It is gone. Home run to straightaway center field for Jackie Bradley Jr. His 7th of the year, puts the Red Sox on top 4-2.
Now, what a turnaround in this game. I mean, you're looking at the possibility of falling behind in the game. The Red Sox bullpen comes in, does a fantastic job, and now Bradley takes his fastball right down the middle to straightaway center field and very deep for a home run. So the Red Sox add to their lead, now a 2-run deficit.
For every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to the Cystic Fibrosis Multiple Sclerosis Fund. Alltown is New England's premier healthier convenience retailer. Jackie Bradley Jr. with his 7th home run of the year. One is outside, 2-1. 2-hit night tonight for Mookie Betts. Both doubles, one to left center, one to right. And Morgan falling behind 3-1.
You know, Don, we've done a lot of talking about the young guys, you know, Bradley and Betts and of course Bogarts all season long. And the great thing about these young players are not only are they good players and getting better, they're really good people. I mean, they really are. You know, they're so humble. They don't come up here and act like they've been here for 10 years. They're coachable. They want to learn. I mean, it's fun to watch, and it's fun to see him have success, and especially Jackie, who's had so many problems. You know, Bogarts last year completely turning his year around.
Mookie Betts just unbelievable. I mean, and they're just really good people. I mean, and I don't think they're going to change. You know, don't change. Please don't change. That's on here at first base. I'll be looking to take second here. Good sized lead as always. And a first pitch strike here to Brock Holt. The single in the first. Flied out to center in the third. Hit a sacrifice fly in the 5th inning. Picked up his 38th RBI of the year. In there for strike 2. Jimar Gomez, saw him warming up in the pen behind Morgan. Slap foul into the seats. Red Sox group tickets start at just $20. How easy is it to get 20 of your family and friends together? Visit redsox.com/groups for more information. 0-2 the count to Brock Holt. 1 out. Mookie Betts at first. And a grounder under the glove of Ruff at first base into right field. Betts keeps on going to third. He'll get there without a problem, and it's 1st and 3rd now with 1 out. Pete McCann coming out.
Well, bad pitch here. It's 0-2. You know, when you're lefty against lefty, you're ahead of Brock Holt to something you probably be showing or throwing away from him. Instead, they come a middle in, and Holt takes it right by the first baseman. We'll see how they score that. I would guess it's going to be a base hit for Brock Holt.
Pitching change from Fenway. 4-2 Red Sox on top. David Ortiz themed episode of NESN Clubhouse. Find out the key to Ortiz's opposite field power. Plus find out if his autograph is the most popular at the team store. That more Sunday at noon on NESN Clubhouse with special guest D'Angelo Ortiz and kid reporter Amber. Presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts. Well, we're in the midst of the bottom of the 7th inning with the Red Sox on top right now, 4-2. The pitcher, Jeanmar Gomez, into his 57th game of the year. 2-3 with a 3.00 earned run average. 66 innings, 43 strikeouts. Opponents hitting at .279 against him. Mookie Betts at third base. Brock Holt at first with 1 out. And here is Xander Bogaerts to face the new pitcher. Adam Morgan responsible for the 2 men on. He goes 6 1/3 innings. Gives up 8 hits and so far 4 runs. He walked 2, struck out 6. Ruff holding on. Holt at first, and Brock has to dive back. On the ground towards shortstop. Galvis backs up, plays a tough hop to second for 1, on to first, not in time. Run scores. In from third comes Mookie Betts, and the Red Sox lead at 5-2.
Good hustle down that first base line by Bogaerts. It looked like it could have been a double play to get the Phillies out of trouble here with the 1st and 3rd situation. But that high hop cost him, and you know, Galvis had to back up just a little bit right there. And that's going to be the difference, really, at first base. But he really had no option. So the Red Sox catch a little bit of break right there with the high hop and pick up another run.
Now David Ortiz standing in with Bogaerts at first base. Into the shift go the Phillies on the right side of the infield. Ortiz has struck out, grounded out, and struck out again. Bogaerts was just getting his lead, and again Gomez going over there. He was barely out there when he had to go back. In there for a strike to Ortiz. The run is charged to Adam Morgan. So far assessed 5 in 6 1/3 innings. He's on the hook. Came in at 5 and 4 individually. Outside, a ball and a strike. Morgan still looking on here in the 7th inning. David's sitting on 495 home runs and 0 for 3 nights to this point. The first again, and Bogaerts crossing over to get back to the bag. Ball 2, 2-1. Five runs, 8 hits, no errors for Boston. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Philadelphia. Bob McClure, pitching coach, looking on. Two-one pitch. A little bit low, and David in the driver's seat here, 3-1. Travis Shaw on deck. Boston batting here with 2 down in the last half of the 7th inning. In the air to center. Herrera going back, and at the wall, it is off the wall. Ricochet to Herrera, coming around as Bogaerts from first. Throw will come plateward. It'll be late. And Ortiz, who tried for another home run, this time's got an RBI double and puts the Red Sox on top 6-2.
Looked like it was going to be 496 for David Ortiz when it left the bat, but just falls short at the top of the wall out there in center field. This ball is absolutely crushed by Ortiz, and I believe he thought he had enough of it to get out of the ballpark. High off the wall. Bogaerts has no problem scoring. That missed by a foot of being 496.
28th double of the season, now 575 in his career. And a pitch that runs down and away. Travis Shaw now the batter, an 0 for 3 night for tonight's Red Sox third baseman, moving from first to third for the ball game tonight. And Shaw's line to right, fly to left, and grounded out to second base. To right field and in for a base hit. Ortiz will stop at third as Shaw's got a hit, now gets away back into the infield. Ortiz going to try and score. Throw to the plate, and David will be safe. Red Sox take a 7-2 lead as taking second base is Shaw. Big Papi coming in from third on the errant throw back into the infield.
Oh, speed kills, doesn't it? The speed of David Ortiz giving the Red Sox another run. There's the base hit out to right field by Shore, and the throw coming in is going to be messed up by the cutoff man, Darren Ruff. And Ortiz heads up, comes into the plate. Here's David going around third base, and he sees the third base coach. He stops, and then he sees the muff, and he goes by himself.
Error charge to Ruff at first base. Allows the runner to score on Ortiz and for Shaw to take second base. Been a big inning for the Red Sox, a 4-run inning. David a little winded. Get some help from Pablo. He's out of gas.
Like when he thought he was going to be cruising around the baseballs with 496, or the base path, I should say. Instead, he's going to run hard.
Then he scores on the errant throw coming back in, and there was no guarantee he was going to get in. He had to hustle. And down here is Alan Craig 0-2 with 2 outs in the inning. Ground ball down the first baseline. It's gathered by Ruff. He'll take it himself to the bag to end the inning, but a big inning for the Red Sox, including home run number 7 of the year for Jackie Bradley Jr. It is 7-2 Boston. Now at Southwest.com. Let's check out tonight's game summaries brought to you by Xfinity. Well, Morgan on the hook right now for the Philadelphia Phillies at 6 1/3, charged with 6 runs in this ball game. As Hernandez 1 for 4 with a run for the Phillies. But for the Red Sox, Joe Kelly with a chance to win his 7th straight decision. That's 2 for 3 in this game. And Jackie Bradley Jr. just hit his 7th home run of the year. Red Sox right now with a 7-2 lead as we head to the top half of the 8th inning, and they move on to pitcher number 5 of the night for Boston as Shinichi Tozawa comes in for the 8th inning. 58th appearance, 2-6 with a 3.72 ERA, 49 strikeouts, 13 walks, and opponents hitting at .272 against Tozawa. Altair, the leadoff batter here in the inning for the Phillies, will take a pitch down and in for ball 1. Struck out in the first, hit by a pitch, and scored in the 4th, and had an infield hit in the 6th inning. On the ground, softly hit with Shaw, deep third base. Nothing he can do but pick it up, and another hit for Altair, who will reach on another infield hit.
3 times he's been on base tonight. Got hit by a pitch. Base hit in the 6th, and now a little dribble down that third base line in the 8th. See Travis Shaw playing deep. He should be back there in this situation, and you get that little dribble and nothing you can do with it. Throw it back to the pitcher. Go get the next guy.
Lead runner on here for the Phillies, and Ryan Howard has had a 0 for 3 tonight. He has grounded out to third base, grounded out to first, and struck out swinging. The Sox have been shifting on Howard all night, and they continue to do so here in the 8th. Action for the Phillies further in the bullpen. They have a right-hander up, Colton Murray. In there for strike 2, Ryan Howard, and it evens a count at 1-1. Well, since the start of the 2013 season, Shinichi Tozawa has made now 200 relief appearances, 4th most in the American League. A lot of work over the years for the Red Sox, and primarily in this role here in the 8th inning. 1-1 to Howard. In the dirt, gathered by Hannigan on the backhand.
It's one thing the Red Sox may look at too in the offseason, you know, the work that Tozawa has had over the years. And, you know, do you get to a point where you worry about him running out of bullets because of all the work that he's had? Tough decision.
Swinging a foul tip, and it's 2-2 now to Ryan Howard. Howard swings and misses for strike 3, and that's the first out of the 8th inning as Tozawa fools him with that pitch.
That good split-fingered fastball by Tozawa. That's exactly where he wants it, down out of the strike zone, and hope the hitter chases it. And that's exactly what Howard does right there. Fooled on the splitter. Cannot hold up the swing, obviously, and the first out of the 8th inning.
1 out, 1 on. And Darnell Sweeney coming up. Sweeney has flied out to the warning track in right, grounded out to first base, walked in the 6th. Framed and framed nicely, as it turns out, by Hannigan for strike 2.
Tozawa with the fastball on the inside part of the plate. Hannigan holding it right on the corner, gives a good look to Dale Scott.
Swing and a miss, and chasing it is Sweeney that time, as Tozawa with back-to-back strikeouts has 2 down in the 8th.
Back-to-back strikeouts, both on split-fingered fastballs, and this one better than the one he threw to Howard. You can see that one moving away and also dropping.
So 2 down, runner at first base. Darren Ruff, the batter. He has struck out. And an infield hit and an RBI. Last time up, bounced into a 6-4-3 double play. He'll take strike one. Greg holding on. Altier at first base. Foul back, 0-2. Hey, Red Sox Nation, start earning rewards for every Dunkin' run. Enroll any DD card online at ddperks.com. Enjoy a free beverage upon enrolling and starting to earn rewards today. Red Sox run on Dunkin'. 1 on, 2 away here in the 8th inning, and Darren Ruff down on the count, 0-2. Check swing. Did he go? No. As they check with C.B. Buckner, the first base umpire.
Was a splitter again by Desauer, and Ruff able to check the swing this time. Another one down in the dirt. Hannigan asking for help from the first base umpire, but no swing.
In the dirt, Hannigan able to block it again. No advance at first base by Altier. Seven runs, 10 hits, no errors for Boston. 2 runs, 7 hits, an error for Philadelphia. In the dirt, and a full count now. On deck for Kobayashi for the Phillies, the third baseman. Zawa facing his 4th batter since coming in. The base hit for Altier, able to strike out Howard. Sweeney. Full count here to Darren Ruff. Swing and a miss. Strikes out Ruff. Ends up striking out the side. We're headed for the bottom of the 8th. 7-2 Boston. Off-road, the kids to practice, or your sports car to its limits, there's a Toyo Tire for you. Visit toyotires.com to find a dealer near you.
That last inning, Tazawa with 3 strikeouts in the inning after a leadoff base hit against split-fingered fastball to Howard. A split-fingered fastball, a real good one there to Sweeney, and another split at the rough to pick up the 3 strikeouts. So the bullpen tonight has been very good for the Red Sox. And he's showing you right there how he got on top of the splitter that time.
Well, the new pitcher in the game here for the Phillies, Colton Murray, into the game. His first appearance, went an inning, giving up a run and a hit. Milwaukee, but he struck out 2. That was against the Mets in a no decision on Wednesday. Made his major league debut against the Mets on Wednesday. Now his breaking ball for a strike over the outside corner to Rusney Castillo. Came up from Lehigh Valley, did Murray. Gene Machi up in the pen for Boston. Swing and a miss, and Rusney Castillo strikes out to open up the bottom of the 8th. 1 down.
Pretty good curveball right there from Murray to pick up the strikeout against Castillo. Second time he has struck out tonight on breaking balls. That one staying on the inside part of the plate, but no contact.
Ryan Hannigan's 4th at bat of the game. He has struck out, singled, and grounded out to shortstop. The big inning for Boston, the 7th inning. They score 4 times in what was a very close game at the time. Red Sox on top 3-2, now on top by 5. As Hannigan looks at strike 2. Starter Adam Morgan gave up 6 of the 7 runs the Red Sox have. The 2 pitches high to Hannigan. On the ground to shortstop, Freddie Galvis coming in a step or 2. And there are 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Jackie Bradley Jr. coming up, and he's part of our Toyota play of the game. His home run, part of that 4-run 7th inning, his 7th home run of the year, straight away center field. At the time, that gave the Red Sox a 2-run advantage, 4-2. Now has a 5-game hitting streak and is 8 for his last 13. Dribble foul by the fungo circle. Well, tonight, after Red Sox coverage on NESN Sports Today, Lisa Hillary and Nikki Reyes will have the latest on the fallout from Deflategate. NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Mookie Betts, top of the order, waiting on deck. Sure, I get asked all the time what a fungo circle is.
The fungo circle is the circle to the right and left of home plate, and that for batting practice, that is generally where the coaches stand to hit ground balls to the infielders. That is what the fungo circle is.
Really has no use during the game.
None whatsoever.
But very important as part of the pregame regimen and routine on a daily basis.
What would happen is that grass would just get all torn up and would be ugly. So they made fungo circles for the coaches to stand in.
There's a pop-up, foul ground down from first comes Ruff. He's got the best chance. And he makes the play that ends the inning. We're headed for the 9th inning. PHI will be coming in 7-2. Section from frequent heartburn. Go to NXIVM24hour.com for savings and pick up a NXIVM 24-hour at your local Stop and Shop. 7-2. The Red Sox have the lead over the Phillies. We head to the top half of the 9th inning. And Gene Machi into the game here for the Boston Red Sox, trying to wrap it up here. His 15th appearance in a Red Sox uniform without a record of 5.68 ERA. 4 out of 4 in save opportunities, which this is not. 10 strikeouts, 7 walks, and opponent sitting at 204 against the former San Francisco Giants right-hander. That'll be the bottom third of the Phillies order expected in the inning. Cody Ashe has walked twice and doubled. Leads it off here for the Phillies in the 9th inning. In there for strike one to Ashe. So Dazal went an inning, gave up a hit, no runs, didn't walk anybody, struck out 3. In fact, 3 in a row. Hitting Howard, Sweeney, and Ruff in succession for Torey Lovullo. Ground ball foul over by the Red Sox dugout. And Ashe down 0-2. 0 for 4 in his career against Machi. There is Cameron Rupp waiting on deck. Little bloop that sends Bogaerts backpedaling to the outfield lawn for out number 1 of the 9th inning. Now tomorrow at 3:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live presented by DCU. TC Eck and Steve Lyons will preview Wade Miley's start against the Phillies. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? One out in the ninth inning. Wade Miley on the hill tomorrow. Eduardo Rodriguez on Sunday. Cameron Rupp getting his fourth plate appearance of the game. Freddie Galvis waiting on deck, one down in the ninth inning. Inside, almost got a piece of Rupp.
Tried the split-fingered fastball that time, got away from Machi.
Foul ball off to the right, out of play. Well, tomorrow at 3, don't miss Red Sox first pitch presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. We'll show you a very special visit with David Ortiz and a group from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Won't want to miss it. It's tomorrow at 3. Red Sox and Phillies playing late day baseball tomorrow. 2-1 to Cameron Rupp. And a ground ball to shortstop. Bogarts charging in and throwing out Rupp. 2 down here in the ninth inning. And that'll bring up Freddie Galvis. 0 for 3 from his number 9 spot in the order for the Phillies. He is struck out, flied out, fouled out in this contest. She picked up his 4th save on Monday. It was against the Yankees, game 1 of that series. Ended up walking the bases loaded and then walked in a run before he got the last 2 batters to get out of it. And it was an adventurous 9th inning, but he was able to get the save. He has 6 total saves in his major league career and 11 chances. 4 for 4 with the Red Sox, and again, this not a save situation. This is lined to right, and it's going to get in for a hit. Bradley over to play it nicely and gets it back in quickly. That gets by him, and that's going to roll a very long time.
That gets by him. You're probably talking about an inside the park home run, but very athletic again. Jackie Bradley charging this ball, attacking this ball down the line, and plays it on the one big bounce. Galvis picking up his first base hit of the ball game. But another good outfield defensive play. We've seen him all the way around the outfield tonight. Right field, center field, and left field.
Dubal Herrera coming up here for the Phillies. 2 hits in the game. Single to left and a single to center. Part of a 2 for 4 showing. Fly ball to right field, struck well. Jackie Bradley going back. It's going to be over his head and gone into the bullpen. A 2-run home run for Herrera, his 3rd hit of the night. And now it is 7-4 as the Phillies are making some noise. Carl Willis going to the phone as Machi gives up a 2-run home run. So Phillies not going quietly tonight.
Herrera picks up his 7th home run of the season. Fastball inside. That's a good pitch right there for a left-hander to make contact on and hit hard. And it's exactly what Herrera did.
6th home run allowed by Machi. 3rd that he's allowed in a Red Sox uniform, and that right into the bullpen. Now Cesar Hernandez will take a pitch high for ball one. Robbie Ross Jr. up for the Red Sox in the pen. Fly ball foul off to the left out of play, and it evens at 1-1. Two and one. Joe Kelly started this game for the Red Sox. First 6 innings, he gave up 2 runs. Gondo, Lane, Ramirez, Tazawa, none of them allowed any runs. Gene Machi is allowed a run here, or 2 runs in the 9th. Now ground ball back up the middle into center field, a base hit. And Hernandez aboard now at 2 down, and the beat goes on here for the Phillies in the 9th inning.
Yeah, if Machi doesn't make the play, nobody's going to make it because it was hit too hard, bouncing over his head and up the middle for the base hit. Machi almost got the glove on it, but he could not make a play on it, and the beat goes on here in the 9th inning for the Phillies.
Well, Carl Willis is coming out here to talk to Machi after he got the first 2 outs of the inning. He's given up a single, a 2-run home run, and another single as Ross appears to be ready if they want to go in his direction. He had been up earlier. And Dana Levangie checking on him to see. Well, Tuesday on an all-new Red Sox report, see highlights from the Jimmy Fund month and watch as the Red Sox relaunch the Ice Bucket Challenge. Catch it all Tuesday at 5 on this week's edition of the Red Sox Report. Aaron Altair, the batter here. Hits in each of his last 2 at-bats, been on base 3 times in this game. Got hit by a pitch in the 4th inning. They're trying to get the tying run to the plate here in the 9th inning. Runner takes off for second as Machi misses outside. Defensive indifference as Hernandez takes second base. Ball 2, 2-0. And Howard would love to have the chance to tie this game as he waits on deck. Fly ball struck well to deep left field. Back goes Castillo at the wall, and it's going to be off the wall. The carom is picked up by Betts. Run scores, and it is now 7-5, and Ryan Howard will represent the tying run as he makes his way to the plate. But it won't be against Machi because here comes Lovello. He will make the change and go and get Robbie Ross Jr. to face Ryan Howard. 7-5, Red Sox have the lead right now. Freeze frame to see the photo of the week and send in a caption that could make it on the next NESN Clubhouse show. Visit NESN.com/freeze frame today. Robbie Ross Jr. into the game, 44th appearance, 0-2 with a 3.86 earned run average. And taking third base as Robbie Ross Jr. looks in is Altier. Robbie never even looked at him. He just ran from second to third.
He's looking in for the signs. And, of course, nobody covering third base because they're in the shift with Howard on the plate. So just walked into third base.
Howard's a tying run. Takes a healthy hack at a 94-mile-an-hour fastball for strike one.
Well, you see the shift on the infield. Nobody at third base. So just go ahead and go. Like a walk in the park.
Howard the tying run, 7-5. And swinging for the downs again, but now down 0-2.
Good slider that time from Ross.
Does have a home run against Ross. Howard strikes out, and the Red Sox win. Now the Phillies made it interesting in the ninth inning as they scored 3 times, but Ross comes in and shuts the door as he'll pick up the save. The Red Sox win it 7-5.